Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, Student Association's Impact Week kicks off today. Citrus TV's Allie Bauman lets us know how people can get involved if they're interested.
And Steve Forbes will speak on campus tonight. We spoke with SU's college Republicans about the importance of the visit.
And people have started to recover from the effects of Hurricane Sandy. Find out what Syracuse University is doing to help out those in need.
And Election Day is just hours away. Citrus TV's Nick Cardona has one last look at the polls before the big day. Citrus TV News starts right now. Good evening and welcome to Citrus TV News Live at 6. I'm Hannah McDonald.
And I'm Ted Goldberg. SA Impact Week starts today to try and bridge the gap between Syracuse University and the city of Syracuse. That's our top story tonight. According to SA Chief of Staff Janine Savage, Impact Week helps to connect SU students and people in the Syracuse community. Citrus TV Allie Bauman joins us now to tell us how that works.
We go to school in Syracuse, we shop in Syracuse, and now we have a chance to give back to Syracuse. Impact Week begins today with the Vera House donation boxes in residence halls and the Shine bookstore. For the past week, students have been able to sign up online to volunteer with a participating Syracuse organization. SA representatives who are organizing Impact Week say they hope the students will benefit just as much as the city.
Great, okay. So, I guess just start off by telling me exactly, Impact Week starts today.
Today.
It goes to the 13th, right?
Yeah.
And so, what is it? What is Impact Week?
Impact Week is something that was kind of, Dylan Lustig, our current president, brought into this idea of doing a day of community service. So when we sat down to really start to hash out the details of it, we looked into logistics and we really thought it would be better to just kind of do a week to give students as many opportunities as possible to get involved. Whereas just doing one day wasn't, it's not as much engagement with the students. So this is really kind of...
This is the first year SA is doing Impact Week. Savage said it was originally supposed to be a day, but SA extended it to involve more organizations and students. There will be 1 to 2 events through SA each day for the rest of the week, ending with a blood drive. SA says they are encouraging volunteers and organizations to tweet about what they're doing.
So, Allie, about how many students are already involved?
Well, right as of last night, SA says there are about 150 students that were signed up, but there are still more students becoming volunteers.
Well, there's 150 students signed up, but what about the students who want to get involved but maybe didn't remember to sign up?
Well, if you haven't signed up yet, you can still donate toiletries to the Vera House in residence halls and in Shine bookstore. You can donate your time at the Marion Shaw Center, and you can volunteer on Donation Day, which will be on Saturday.
And of course, there are always so many opportunities to do community service on campus, so what makes Impact Week special and different?
Well, it's true. There are lots of organizations on campus that have community service opportunities in Syracuse, but SA says one of their goals in doing Impact Week was to unite Syracuse in one community to reach out to the city of Syracuse and for the students here to get out of the orange bubble, as they call it.
All right, thank you very much, Allie.
Thank you, Allie. Steve Forbes is speaking at Grant Auditorium tonight. Forbes is the chairman and editor-in-chief of Forbes Media and Forbes Magazine. College Republicans are sponsoring the lecture that discusses how capitalism will save the economy. Earlier, we spoke with College Republican President James Ward, and he shared what he feels is most important about the visit.
People like you and me getting as much information as possible to make an informed decision on election day is really important. So Steve Forbes coming the eve before election day is really crucial, giving people a better understanding of the state of our economy.
When we come back, we'll get you up to speed on the recovery efforts after Hurricane Sandy.
And your latest weather updates. This is Citrus TV News Live at 6. We'll be right back.
Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
Hey, my name's Katie and I'm in the 9th grade. I'm an A average student and I'm an athlete working towards a scholarship. And everybody tells me how much potential I have. But I just wish someone would tell me where my next meal is coming from. Katie, how'd I do?
Do you have to be so serious?
Well, I mean, I did like a crazy dance in a movie if you want me to like, do a little, no.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born, and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. Looking for a cold one to relax after Hurricane Sandy? While local New Yorkers may have a harder time finding one, the surges of salt water, power outages, and distribution problems are causing problems to New York's beer industry. Numerous breweries in New York City experienced extreme flooding in their facilities, and the full extent of the damage to the breweries will not be known until power is fully restored. But on the bright side, breweries outside of New York are already offering to help provide ingredients to the damaged facilities. And elsewhere in New York, recovery from Hurricane Sandy continues. Power has been restored to about 80% of its customers, while crews continue to work to restore subways, buses, and rail lines. Over 1 million people are still without power in the tri-state area, with the majority in New Jersey. The recovery is also causing some problems with voters who say they will not be able to access their polling locations on Election Day. A nor'easter is also projected to hit the New York City area Wednesday afternoon into Thursday, further complicating recovery efforts. In an email to students and faculty sent out today, Chancellor Nancy Cantor highlighted what students are doing and how people across campus can help the cause. SU will be sending a truck with bottled water and pre-made food directly to the victims of Hurricane Sandy in the affected areas. And Saturday's 12 o'clock football game against Louisville will be Dome Donation Day, where people can make monetary donations throughout the game. Hendricks Chapel will also serve as a drop-off point for any donations.
Hurricane Sandy missed Syracuse, but Central New Yorkers have still had to deal with cold wind and rain over the past few days. Leandra Rosa joins us now to take a look at tonight's weather.
Thanks, Teddy. Well, I knew this day would come eventually, and that's the day that I've had to use the word snow in my weather forecast. Looking at today's weather, we can see that we had temperatures in the mid to upper 30s. We had some clouds, and we saw a few snow flurries throughout the morning, but the wind chill made that temperature feel a lot colder. It did feel about 30 degrees. Looking at tonight, we could see those temperatures are going to be even lower. It's going to be even colder. We're going to have temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. So make sure you get those heavy coats out. It's time to prepare for winter, even though it's only November 5th. Looking on to tomorrow morning, we can see that temperatures are going to rise. It's going to be a little bit more sunny out, which is nice. So you better all go out and vote. Temperatures are going to be in the 40s, and hopefully that sun will warm things up a little bit more. Unfortunately, Sandy was a week ago, and we are going to see another midweek coastal storm that's coming up the coast. We are expecting it to hit New Jersey probably around Wednesday night into Thursday. They're expecting wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour, minor to moderate coastal flooding, heavy rain along coastal areas, and even wet snow across interior sections, which we will see. Moving on to Thursday's map, you can see that Thursday we'll start to see the effects of this storm. We're going to have a mix of rain and snow and slush. So even us up higher in in the northeast will see that effect. Hopefully the areas hit by Sandy won't be affected too much worse. Moving on to the 5-day forecast, you can see that temperatures are going to fluctuate throughout the week between the 40s and the 30s. Thursday is when it'll drop down because that's when we're going to see that midweek coastal storm where we'll get some rain, get some snow. It's hard to predict what's going to happen. It's going to be cold though.
Like you said, Leanne, definitely an important thing to staying warm is to wear a nice heavy jacket. But with all these the crazy winds, you even said 50 miles an hour in some areas. What's the best thing people can do to deal with that?
Well, that's just because of this storm, and that's still up in the air. Things might still change with that. We're still tracking the track of that storm. But with winds like that, you can just make sure that you don't have a lot of skin exposed. You don't want that wind chill to cause frostbite. Temperatures won't be that cold where you'll see frostbite because it will be in the upper 30s.
And when are we going to see the snow actually sticking to the ground? I know we've already had some hints of snow in the air, but when are we going to see some accumulation on the ground?
Well, on Thursday, we might see a little bit of accumulation, but because it's going to be a rain and snow mixture, it's going to be like slush. And we may only get to about 1 inch, but temperatures still need to drop a lot more before into the really low 30s, upper 20s before we see an actual accumulation.
Over the past few elections, candidates have really pushed for people to get out there and vote, get that voter turnout up. But with the weather like this, crazy winds and cold temperatures, do you think that's going to deter some people from getting out and voting?
I hope not, because tomorrow is going to be the nicest day of the week. It's going to be sunny. Temperatures are going to be in the 40s, which is cold, but that is a lot warmer than today, and that sun will really warm things up. So, no excuse that it's, cloudy and gray and you want to stay in your pajamas.
And thank you, Leanne. And we're going to take another quick break here on Citrus TV News Live at 6. But when we come back, we'll take a look at tomorrow's presidential election. The Rasmussen and Gallup polls have President Obama and Mitt Romney virtually tied.
Citrus TV's Nick Cardona will join us in studio to take a look at these polls and the closest election in recent memory. Citrus TV will be right back.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
One year ago today, police arrested Jerry Sandusky on charges of child sexual abuse. The former Penn State football coach shocked the country when a grand jury report stated that he molested 8 boys over the past few decades. Sandusky was found guilty and sentenced to at least 30 years in prison. Penn State President Rodney Erickson says the university is trying to move on, but is expecting more civil suits in the future. Tomorrow, Americans will cast their votes to see who will be our next president and congressman. Since the Senate could have an equal number of Democrats and Republicans, control of the Senate could come down to an independent from Maine. Angus King holds a double-digit lead over Republican challenger Charlie Summers. King says he supports Obama but won't vote with Democrats on every issue. In Maine, King has become so popular that his yard signs simply say Angus for U.S. Senate. The presidential race is much more close. The Gallup and Rasmussen polls have Obama and Romney in a tie when you take into account margin of error. Citrus TV's political analyst Nick Cardona joins us now with the latest on this hotly contested race.
Thank you, Ted. Some new polls have come out in the last couple of days that might add to the total number of battleground states and electoral college votes up for grabs. In Pennsylvania, a new poll shows a statistical tie between President Obama and Mitt Romney, with 49% of likely voters favoring the president and 45% favoring Romney. Now, a month ago, the president had a 9-point advantage in Pennsylvania, a state that has not voted Republican since 1988. And a new CNN national poll was released yesterday showing the race is a dead heat. 49% of likely voters favor Governor Romney and 49% favor President Obama. So with these new polls out just over 24 hours before Election Day, both President Obama and Mitt Romney are making a final push to rally votes from both their base and sway independent voters. And both Romney and Obama and their top surrogates will visit Ohio, Iowa, Florida, Virginia, Colorado, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and New Hampshire. So guys, they have a busy 24 hours.
Nick, President Obama and Governor Romney are they're in a dead heat. When you take into account margin of error, these guys are almost inseparable. What do you think is going to be the difference tomorrow?
I mean, we've been saying it all along. It's Ohio. If Romney wins Ohio, it's a good chance he'll win the presidency. If Obama wins Ohio, it's pretty much a guarantee.
John Kerry didn't win Ohio in 2004, and that partially led to him losing the election.
Exactly, yeah. So it's going to be a close race, especially in Ohio.
And because it's going to be so close, is America going to know who the president the next 4 years is going to be when we go to bed tomorrow night?
I don't think so, but it's definitely going to depend on Ohio. Again, that is the race. If we don't get the results in soon, we might not know until tomorrow or the next day. So we don't know.
Wow. Thank you so much, Nick. And tomorrow night, we will be live from 9 to 11 p.m. covering Election Night in America. Citrus TV's Lauren Fultonberg will be hosting the 2012 election special. We will have updates from both the presidential and congressional races, including up-to-date electoral college scenarios. Tune in tomorrow night for live coverage and follow us on Twitter at Citrus TV News and online at citrustv.net. Russia's top diplomat dismissed a UN resolution today to begin a transitional government for a post-war Syria. Many accuse Russia of supporting the current Syrian regime, but the country's foreign minister said Syria could expect more violence if the UN interfered with the change of government. In Syria today, 92 people were killed in fighting, including 2 citizen journalists. South Korea shut down operations at 2 nuclear reactors today. The reactors had been using parts with forced quality certificates. Controversy over the reactors had increased after the 2011 crisis at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant in Japan. The 2 reactors account for about 5% of South Korea's national power. The government has called on agencies to take steps to counteract the expected pressure on the energy supply. The FBI is expected to question a suspect this week in the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi. The attack killed 4 U.S. citizens, including the U.S. ambassador to Libya. The United States first became aware of Ali Ani al-Harzi when he posted details of the attack on social media while it was happening. Turkish officials detained al-Harzi when he entered the country. He is being held awaiting U.S. interrogation.
I'm Russ Reed, and coming up in sports, SU football tried to gain ground in the Big East. A couple orange teams were in the Big East tournament action, and men's basketball played their final exhibition. All that and more coming up.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these 2. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Now, some action from the courts. Billie Jean King renewing her rivalry with Arthritis. First set, furious volley, and right to the net for a winner. Beautiful forehand there. Arthritis, stunned. And here, match point. Billie Jean with the ace, taking it in straight sets. Afterwards, a jubilant Billie Jean King.
Tennis is a weapon for me with arthritis. There's nothing like it for me to hit a ball, run to the ball, anytime, any court. I'm ready. Let's go.
What's your weapon against arthritis? Find out at fightarthritispain.org.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Welcome back. On Saturday, SU football took on Cincinnati for third place in the Big East Conference and an outside chance at the conference title, but Syracuse fell to the Bearcats 35-24. SU held a 3-point lead at halftime and only trailed by 4 at the end of the third quarter, but a 2-yard touchdown run by Cincy running back George Wynn early in the fourth put the Bearcats up by 11, and they didn't look back. Orange quarterback Ryan Nassen completed less than half his passes, the first time he's failed to throw for at least 50% all season. SU running back Jerome Smith had his third straight 100-yard game and added a TD. Defensively, Syracuse couldn't stop the run again, giving up 263 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground just a week after getting gouged by USF's rushing attack. Syracuse will face number 9 Louisville at noon this Saturday at the Dome and must win 2 of their last 3 games to become bowl eligible. The men's basketball team hosted its final preseason game at the Dome on Sunday against Division II Bloomsburg. The Orange took care of business against the Huskies, winning by a final score of 103-60. 9 different Orange players scored, 5 of them in double digits. Brandon Trish led the team in scoring with 23 points on 9 of 11 from the field. Sophomore point guard Michael Carter-Williams added 17 points with 8 assists. Junior forward CJ Fair led the defensive effort with 5 steals while chipping in 12 points on offense. The SU defense forced 25 turnovers overall and scored 40 points off of those miscues. This game also marked the first action of the season for Trevor Cooney, who missed the pace exhibition after having his tonsils removed. He hit through 3-pointers and dished out 3 assists. The Orange now prepare for their regular season opener on Friday against San Diego State on the deck of the USS Midway.
Well, I think we're getting better. You know, it's early. I think our overall, I think everything is where it would normally, where you'd want it to be at this stage of the year.
It was the first home postseason match in program history, and a record crowd was on hand at SU Soccer Stadium when the men hosted number 7 Notre Dame in a quarterfinal of the Big East tournament on Saturday night. The Orange had an early 2-0 lead at the 43-38 mark, but the Irish exploded for 4 second-half goals. Seniors Ted Cribley and Lewis Clark were the goal scorers for the Orange, while Notre Dame's offense was led by Patrick Hoden's 5-point effort. Hoden scored a goal in the 63rd minute and assisted on the game-tying goal 11 seconds later. Hoden's second goal with 14 minutes left put the Irish up for good. Syracuse will have to wait until Monday night to find out if they make the NCAA tournament. The men's soccer team wasn't the only Syracuse team in Big East tourney action this weekend. The field hockey team faced UConn in Louisville for the Big East Championship on Sunday. The top-seeded Orange held a 3-1 lead early in the second half, but couldn't fend off the number 5 Huskies. Laura Hanfelt scored both goals in the first half for the Orange, while Liz McInerney scored 2 minutes and 52 seconds into the second half to give SU a 2-goal advantage. But UConn scored goals in the 47th and 51st minutes to tie the game, and Chloe Hunnable scored with 16 seconds left in regulation to give the Huskies their Big East crown. The Division I tournament selection show will be held tomorrow night at 8. And the New York Giants hosted the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday, the first football game at the Meadowlands since Hurricane Sandy hit the Northeast. The Steelers had to fly in on game day because the hotel where they planned to stay had no power. And after an emotional pregame ceremony, the Steelers went on to win 24-20 in a comeback effort. Pittsburgh QB Ben Roethlisberger threw for 2 touchdowns as third-string running back Isaac Redmond ran for 147 on the ground and a touchdown. The Steelers' defense stifled the Giants, holding them to 182 yards of total offense. Giants quarterback Eli Manning struggled, throwing for 42% and an interception. The Giants fall to 6-3 on the year and travel to Cincinnati to play the Bengals this week. And the New York Knicks will play their third game of the young NBA season as they take on the 76ers at the Wells Fargo Center in Philly. This is the second game of a home-and-home series as the Knicks beat the 76ers 100-84 yesterday at Madison Square Garden. Knicks are scoring 102 points a game as Carmelo Anthony leads the team with a 28.5 points per game, good for the second in the league behind James Harden. Even though the offense is 7th best in the league, the defense has been the Knicks' calling card so far this season. New York has the best defense in the league statistically, holding both Philly and defending champion Miami Heat to 84 points.
Russell, I know what I'll be doing tonight. I'll be watching Monday Night Football, Philadelphia Eagles and New Orleans Saints, and all eyes are going to be on Michael Vick, $100 million quarterback for the Eagles. He's been turning the ball over a lot. If he turns it over 3 times and they lose, do you think the Eagles should bench him?
I don't think they should bench him. This isn't Michael Vick's fault at all. I know people will be looking to replace him since Nick Foles played so well in the preseason, but that offensive line for the Eagles is just, you might as well put paper bags out there for that defensive line because, it's just about that easy for the defense.
And SU's playing at Louisville this week. Is this a must-win game for Syracuse?
I think it's a must-win in particular because, it's senior day, it's homecoming, and they have to win 2 of their last 3 games, and they're against all very good opponents. You make an argument that Temple could even beat Syracuse, and I think if they lose to Louisville, and especially if they get crushed, it'll be a huge emotional downturn.
Sure.
All right, thanks for joining us, Russell.
Thank you. When we come back, we'll take a look at tomorrow morning's weather.
Citrus TV News live at 6. We'll be right back.
Different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
Now, some action from the courts. Billie Jean King renewing her rivalry with Arthritis. First set, furious volley, and right to the net for a winner. Beautiful forehand there. Arthritis, stunned. And here, match point. Billie Jean with the ace, taking it in straight sets. Afterwards, a jubilant Billie Jean King.
Tennis is a weapon for me with arthritis. There's nothing like it for me to hit a ball, run to the ball, anytime, any court. I'm ready. Let's go.
What's your weapon against arthritis? Find out at fightarthritispain.org.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
We're now joined with Leanne DeRosa. Leanne, can you tell us what tonight's going to be like? It's our first Monday night after the clocks have changed. What can we expect?
Definitely a lot darker, a lot earlier now. It was getting dark earlier as I was just coming to the studio. But tonight we're going to see low temps, so make sure that you dress warm. It's going to be a low of 26 degrees is going to feel very cold, especially with the wind. So bundle up. But no precipitation, so you're good.
Okay, I guess that's good news. Thank you.
Hannah, have you ever stumbled upon anything in your house and maybe thought it was valuable?
A few times, I guess, but nothing too valuable. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, Harv Bennett, he's a gentleman in Pomona, California, and he found a video game in his house worth over $33,000.
I guess they say that there's something between trash and treasure, but this was his own treasure. This game, the Atari 2600 Air Raid.
Yes, one of the rarest games in the world. Only 12 are known in existence, and this was the only one with an instruction manual. So maybe that verifies the price. I don't know.
Sure. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Hannah McDonald.
And I'm Ted Goldberg. Thank you so much for watching.